a perfect kind of almost empanada-ish, like half pie dumpling. We didn't have the availability to get round, so we're working with what we got, and it's totally going to be awesome. So what you're first doing is you're going to kind of pinch right here, and then you're going to kind of give it a little pleat on one side, and give it a little pleat on one side. Press down each time you give it that little pleat. And as you guys can see, I'm not doing this perfectly. Nobody needs to do it perfectly. The most important thing is that it seals. You don't want to lose the filling. That's the main point, is you want to be able to enjoy all that filling. So there you see, I've got my pleats. I give it a little extra press, and that's my little dumpling right there. That's my dumpling right there, because I think you're looking at me from up above right now. And we're going to do it again. Do we have another question, Eric?
We don't have any questions right now, but is there anything we can add in? Any tips about the sealing
Press,
press?
press. You don't, obviously you want to press to the point that you are breaking or damaging the dumpling. And you'll find when you open up these packages, sometimes some of them are a little dry. Some of them seem they're not as malleable as the others. You can kind of toss those out and keep working with the other one. See, I had a little bit come out of the edge right there. So I'm just going to press. I still have my pretty dumpling, and I have this wonderful towel here that I can wipe all this stuff off my hand off. So that works really well. So then we're going to do another press with this one. We're just doing the same thing, point to point, and then pressing. Now you'll learn that wontons are much easier. Dumplings we can play for a while with the shapes and how to do the pleats and make it look gorgeous. Wontons are a little simpler. I don't know if you guys are fans of wonton soup, but you'll find that they kind of look a lot more organic. They're not as like kind of planned as the dumpling. So, and we could do a whole class on, honestly, different dumpling folds. I would love to learn more about things like that. So if that's something people are interested in, there's all kinds of fun ways, and making our own dumpling wrappers, because this is an easy way to get it done, but it's not hard to make dumpling wrappers. So that is something we could definitely teach as well. So I got 4 pretty nice looking dumplings, I think, right here. I mean, we got to give ourselves credit these days. Yes. What's that question?
Yeah, a few people wondering if we could do a close-up of the pinching process.
Sure. Tell me how I would do that. I'm happy to do it as long as my tech team allows. So I'm going up here. Okay. So again, egg inside, egg on the other side. Okay. We're going to do a little spoon of our dumpling. Okay. So I'm 5'8". I think I'm shrinking too. So we'll do our best. But see, so we first pull this together, and then we're looking to pleat. Now, you could seal very easily. You don't need the pleats. The pleats make it a little fun. It make it a little fancy, a little special. So there's one pleat. Tell me if I'm doing a decent job. I hope I am, guys. Another pleat. It's a little bit. We can do another right there and another on that side. And then another pleat here. Another pleat here. It's almost like doing like a pie crust around the edge of a pie crust. So hopefully that helped a little bit. But even if you go even across, keep it tight, you're still going to have an absolutely delicious option. Now, wontons, totally different thing. A wonton is actually very simple. And this is like if you're doing soup, which we love. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but chicken is a big thing in our family. And Passover coming up. I mean, chicken always talked about matzo balls. delicious. Noodles are delicious. Dumplings, wontons. I mean, come on now. You can't really go wrong with that. With wonton, it seems that the Asian community has become more forgiving, we'll say, in how it's put together, and that we pretty much just kind of go whoop whoop, and we smush and we press, and that kind of a wonton. And then when it floats, in the water and it boils, you get kind of all these nice pillowy pieces of kind of what comes almost out like pasta. And then you have the filling, which is really delicious as well. Now, can a wonton be seared like a dumpling? Of course it can. We can make a lot of happen. Not to worry. So you guys keep working on your dumplings. I don't know how many people you're feeding in your houses. I could eat easily like 6 to 8 of these, probably more if I hadn't eaten earlier today. I'm pretty sure everyone around me could probably do the same thing. They're all like, yes, please. So Susie Q, do you want to make a couple too? Here, let me give you some of these guys. Because we're having the power issues, we're not going to show you how to cook the wontons. But literally, you're taking this little package that you made and you're putting it in a boiling soup or a boiling water for about 3 to 4 minutes. And what we're going to focus on showing you is how we're going to cook our pot stickers in a pan. I'd love to know if people are interested in not using a pan, not using oil. And I'm happy to share with you how that would be attained. So, pleats, 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 little pleats. Questions. Oh, we've got a question. I like questions.
Someone is saying they have a steamer.
Ooh, steamers are wonderful. The first thing you want to do with your steamer is you want to lay something across it that the water will still be able to come through, but that will prevent your dumpling from sticking to it. Cabbage is a very popular thing. If you have iceberg lettuce or another kind of lettuce, you can line your steamer with that. There's a lot of different things like you could use to line the steamer basket. Are you working with a wood steamer or a metal steamer would be one question I would have. But if you can line it with something, that will just make it so your dumpling doesn't stick. Obviously, when you're working with a steamer, things can get a little stickier because you're not working with oil. So if you have that information, I'm happy to walk you through that process as well. Another question? No? Perfect. Excuse me, a little itch on my nose. All right. Oh, you don't want to reach in front of me? She's never this polite. It's all for TV, folks. So are we over here or over here? Still up above. Okay, awesome. Admiring my beautiful COVID fingernails. I'm gonna make 3 more if there's the mixture with me. We'll see. It's always, yeah, it's always a question. But we've been working together for 7 years, so so far so good. Let's not end it now. All right, so we're gonna do these couple more. And as you're doing fit, what's awesome is that they hold a little bit more. The seams tighten, and like I said, it becomes very easy to cook them after that. If you find that you put a little too much in your dumpling, do not despair. You can always kind of squeeze around it. You can have some really big fat ones. You can have some little smaller ones. I mean, honestly, it's a very forgiving activity. It's also really fun. I've spent time making hundreds of these before, and not just with Asian fillings. The pocket, creating things in a pocket or in a pouch is obviously very popular for caterers. So, I mean, we've done anything from pulled chicken barbecue dumplings and collard green dumplings and all kinds of different fun things. Like, don't let the filling kind of, stop you from creating. It doesn't have to just be this Asian filling. You can really get, like, you can get a lot of things into a little dumpling. Okay, yeah, I want to wipe that out a little just because it got a little dark. So I think we've got enough dumplings to get ourselves started in a pan. So to pan fry these, what we're gonna do is, we've got oil on your list, and we talked about an oil with a higher temperature threshold. I think that if I'm looking properly, a vegetable or peanut oil was suggested in our recipes. Totally great. Safflower oil, great. Avocado oil is great. Canola oil is great. Sunflower is great. The one thing we would probably want to stay away from would be like an extra virgin olive oil, because that will burn and it'll smell. Not the way you want olive oil to smell. So, with our last little couple, perfect. So we're going to get our pan hot first, and then we're going to add our oil. When we get a nice shimmer going with that oil, that's when we're going to want to drop our dumplings in. We're going to have them go in first on one side, then on another. And then we're going to, once we switch it over to the other side, we're going to add water. So if everyone can get like maybe half a cup of water or so in a top for your pot, that would be the best thing. Yes, question.
Janice is wondering if she can show the result of her hair fryer.
Ooh, I would love to see it. Now, mind you, Janice, can't see it because I'm in front of you. Oh, I can see it. Oh, that looks great. Very good. Okay, everybody go buy an air fryer. Ask Janice where she got hers, because that looks fantastic and so much easier. We'll show you the traditional way, but God loves invention. All right, so we've got some dumplings here. They look so cute and pretty. Yours look different. I love it. But see, that's the fun. Like, everybody can have a different, like, we can all have a different filling. We can have the same filling. It sounds very philosophical. It probably isn't. So I'm looking for some heat right here. I'm using induction. So I'm going up to like a medium high, because I'm going to want a really nice sear on the front side of our dumpling. And then when we flip it over, there'll still be some oil to sear it, but we're going to use the water that we add to finish the cooking process. And we're going to need something to cover this, Susie Q. Do you think you can grab me like a pan or something like that? So I'm just waiting for this to heat up. And don't mind me, I don't have any feeling on my fingertips anymore. So I just put them right in there, and that is getting hot. So we're putting about 2 tablespoons of oil in. It does seem like a lot, but we do want to make sure that it covers the bottom and we don't get any sticking. And I've got some tongs right here, and we're gonna take those tongs, we're gonna lay dumplings down. And we're getting a little bit of a sizzle. Probably gonna do about 2 minutes or so on this side. We'll start to see the brown happen around the edges, and that will signify to us that it might be time to turn them. Next time, I'm gonna get Janice and her air fryer over here, and we'll all be eating in no time. I have one. I don't use it as I should. Air fryers are amazing. Technology is is a fun situation. So you don't want to crowd your pan. You always hear chefs say, don't crowd your pan, but you can get a few dumplings in here. This is like maybe a 9-inch pan, and I can definitely comfortably get these in there. I'm even going to get Sue's little funny looking ones in here too. I love your funny looking dumplings. And there we go. And now a little bit of patience sets in. We're going to let them get a little bit of color on one side. And then once they've gotten that color, flip them over. We're going to add a little water, cover them. That'll steam them the rest of the way, cook them the rest of the way, and we'll be finished from there. So if we want to go back to the screen in front of us, we've shown most of this. And we can hold these up, show people kind of what is happening there. I always like to go high heat. Ooh, I like questions.
The EJ one and they're great. It's great.
Yay! Mary's ahead of me, and I'm jealous because I'm a little hungry, but I love it. Tell me what flavors you love most about your dumplings. If you've eaten an air fryer one, or if you've put one in water or steamed it. You're definitely going to get a little bit of that crunch from the cabbage, which is so good. The moisture from the chicken, obviously, or the turkey. But you're also going to get that really wonderful garlic and a little bit of that spicy ginger and scallion. So that'll be really yummy. If you've already finished with your dumplings and you want to make your sauce, then that is something you can do easily by mixing soy sauce with rice wine vinegar and then finishing it with scallions. Another question?
We have several people.
Isn't it so good? I agree. This is one of my favorite kinds of food, especially when, I mean, hi, we all live in Rochester, and it's been a little dark and it's been a little cold. We've had some great days, but ginger and garlic are such great ways to like brighten up any dark. Agreed. So see, I've got some beautiful color on the other side of these dumplings now. So we're gonna flip them, and I'm gonna say, Sue, can you get the water, please? And this is gonna create a little bit of a rush of a little bit of smoke, or not smoke really, but vapor. But that's gonna finish the cooking process. And not everything has to be like super, super, super crunchy. Although, I mean, if you're an avid pot sticker or dumpling lover, it is great to get that nice crunchy crispiness. It'd be wonderful if every pan would cook everything perfectly, but it exists. So we're flipping these over. I've got like one or two that I'm a little picky about. Yes, please. Why not? I whenever I pull my pan off, here I can do that. Ta-da! If that shows you a little bit. So now I've turned them all over, and we're gonna give it a little bit of water, and it's gonna go. See, and you can see how water is kind of in there, just to steam it a tiny, tiny bit of the way to finish it. And then you probably have lovely sets of pots and pans with their tops and everything. We in the catering industry like to use a sheet tray. It works out really well. It keeps most of the smoke in. And so we're going to let that sit for a minute. Another question.
Yeah, Lauren is wondering what water in that. If we put in oil.
No more oil. The oil that you put in initially is enough for both sides. Once you flip your dumplings at one time, add a little bit of water, maybe a quarter of a cup or less, and then top it. And that's what's going to plump your dumplings and finish the cooking process for the meat. So, and of course, I'm impatient. So I'm like, no, not yet. All right. I would love to hear if anybody's finished theirs, like how they are and if they're delicious. And I'm going to let this sit for a second and I'm going to go wash my hands over at the sink over here so that we can plate these up. Oh, am I back? Apparently I was muted. That's why I have this like really strong tech team over here. Which Sue is laughing at because it's like my husband and my daughter. Well, they're pretty strong. All right. So now you can see the water is dissipated and it's almost like oil is a little bit of oil will be left. And that's what we're kind of looking for. You want firmness when you touch the dumpling so you know that that meat is cooked. And some of it might stick a little bit. We're not going to judge ourselves too harshly, but some of it might stick a little. So these are our finished dumplings. Yes, we have a question.
Maria Jeremy just wants to say that's very good.
Love it. I love that you guys are like killing it. So we're going to pull some of these out. Some are stuck a little bit. No, nothing's perfect. Nor do we expect it to be. But we're going to remove some of these and we're going to get some hopefully taste testers over here. I pulled a couple out. Sue's going to pull the rest out. Do we have like a little, yeah, of something to pull them out? And did everyone make their sauce? So we've got our soy sauce right here. Mine is ponzu. If you don't have your soy sauce, there's rice wine vinegar that you can add. If you don't have a ponzu sauce, rather, rice wine vinegar that you can add to lighten it up. And scallions. Yes, another question.
So Lisa and Paul are trying theirs, but she wants to try steaming. How long did you do this for?
Steaming, I would say about 3 to 5 minutes if you've got an active boil going. And make sure that you've got a layer between the steamer basket and the dumpling that is breathable, like a lettuce, a cabbage, something like that. All right. I say, you know what? I say we try these because everybody else seems to be trying them and I'm jealous. You ready, Sue?
Ready.
So here we go. We've got some dumplings. Let's see, this one's got some nice color on it. I don't know if we're right here, but it's got some nice color. And I'm not gonna do this politely. I'm not offended. Mm-hmm. I eat that like all day long.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm glad everybody else is happy because this is exactly what we were looking for. And if you do have a little stick, if you do have happens, it doesn't finish your abilities or your talents. Everybody should be very proud. So, are you gonna eat one? I think you should. So now we've made the dumplings. So now the next thing we're gonna work on is, okay, I've made dumplings. This is really exciting. How can I make a meatball? We'll show you. And where's the rest of that meat? We put it over here. Thanks. So we had reserved half of our meat from our dumplings. And if you guys want to keep going like team dumpling, go all the way. We will never argue with that. But we thought it would be fun to show you something that you could start with and maybe end up with a couple different options. Maybe every night your family does want to eat dumplings, which would be weird. And you might want to question them at that point. But if they say, hey, how about a lettuce wrap? We'll show you how to make a lettuce wrap. So lettuce wraps are fun. They're healthy. They're tasty, they're delicious, and they just involve a couple extra things that we're gonna throw in. So for the lettuce wraps, we had you put together some egg, we had you put together some hoisin sauce and some panko bread. And that's what we're gonna add to the meat to kind of create the meatballs. The carrot, the sesame, the sugar, the vinegar, and the sesame seeds are going to come together to create a pickle that'll be really yummy on your lettuce wraps. Question.
Izzy is wondering, are there other ways to use these ingredients maybe in other dishes?
That's what we're working on right now, Izzy. So yes, definitely. I mean, you could definitely take this meat right here and you could saute this almost like you would for a taco. You can make Asian tacos. It's so delicious. About to show you how to make some wonderful meatballs. Other things you could do. You could fill an empanada. You could make like a little patty for like an Asian chicken burger. What we make right here, this dumpling mixture can be used in so many different ways, and I'd love to learn more about the ways that you guys want to use it. So I just have to look at my notes here because I know that the recipe that I gave you is a little heavy if we're only using half the amount of the meat. So where we said a cup of panko, if you're making the chicken meatballs for the lettuce wrap, we're gonna go half. And the same with the hoisin and the same with the egg. So we're gonna add about one beaten egg, which is what I have here. One beaten egg, and remember we haven't added any egg yet to our meat. So one beaten egg to this half of the mixture. If you're going with the full recipe for what we just did with the dumplings, starting with the 3/4 cup of meat, etc., then you would go with the full amount of hoisin, the full 2 eggs, full panko, etc. So I'm gonna kind of do a little measury on my own, but we're gonna go with about half the panko. I personally don't like a super bready meat. The bread does lend to tenderness, so can't go wrong with a little tenderness. I feel like a dork saying that just now. Thank God Sue is singing to make me feel better. And then hoisin, if you guys are familiar with hoisin, it is a strong, unctuous, sweet, salty flavor. I'm just going with half of that hoisin as well. I've got a little extra scallion, so I'm going to throw that in here too because I love scallions more than like a normal person should. And then I am going to grab some gloves here because this will make a mess of my hand. Are you ready to roll out some meatballs? The meatballs. So we've got a question. Ken, you're gonna want to balance the sweetness with the salty. If you're going to use soy, I would want you to go very light, maybe just a little bit. And then I would want you to add maybe a tiny bit of honey or a tiny bit of, I wouldn't suggest a granulated sugar. You could add a tiny bit of maple syrup. But you want to make sure you get that sweet and salty as opposed to just the salty. I'm going to add a little bit more of my panko because it's holding together, but it's not like super holding together. And I know, I'm sure everybody has had meatloaf. And we're looking for kind of like that meatloafy consistency. Now, it doesn't have to be super heavy. You don't have to keep going until it like stands up at attention. We can still create meatballs and they might flatten out a little in the oven, and that's okay. But the point is that we'll have delicious little balls of meat to put in our lettuce wraps. So, oh, yeah. The dumplings have been enjoyed. Nobody thinks about the chef. Thank you. Sue thinks about me. Now we know. Now we know. It's okay. We'll hold on to everybody else, but we know. Okay, so got our meatball mixture now. we're gonna make meatballs. We've got a piece of parchment right here in our little pan. Parchment is like a cook's best friend. Parchment is a cook's best friend. Sorry, I don't know when they're switching the camera. I'm learning. This is a learning curve episode. So I appreciate you guys so much. So we've got some parchment here that's going to keep from sticking. In addition, I'm going to add a tiny little bit of oil, and I'm just going to do it like in a very non-professional way. I'm just going to coat this with the oil. Okay, and in doing this, I'm also coating my hands with the oil, and that'll make it so that the meat doesn't stick to my hands. So remember, you're doing lettuce wraps. We're going to use iceberg, because I think iceberg is a phenomenal thing. It's crunchy, it's healthy, it's inexpensive. I mean, it ticks all the boxes. And we're making, I'd say maybe between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. You can go bigger and do less meatballs. You could make them in a different shape. You could make, like, you know, almost like a cigar kind of size, because it might fit in a lettuce wrap better. Play around. The best part of is playing around. So you want to make a couple too? So we're going to make these meatballs, and we're going to throw these into our little convection oven. Convection 350, regular oven 375. And we're going to say probably about 15 minutes on that. And while we're doing that, we're going to make our pickled carrots. Question.
Lisa's wondering if they were supposed to add carrots, sesame seeds,
Not yet. No. Actually, what I'm going to show you, Sue's trying to take this away from me, but I'm not going to let her yet. Because I like to do, you can add sesame seeds to it. I like to give it a little sesame seed garnish before it goes into the oven. And you could do that all the way around. You could roll them in there, however you want to do. But that's how we do ours. Another question.
Claire's wondering if making a second round of should they take the pan and start over with
Yes. Definitely. If you keep using the same pan, it will stick more. Definitely want to always start with a clean, dry pan, and go from there. And get it hot before you get your oil in there. All right. So I'm just like double checking, because this is where I need the warm water. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, good. It's like this moment that we've been working toward this whole time. Is the water warm enough? So the reason we need warm water, and I'm going to flip my board over because that had raw on it and this one does not. And we've got we do make beautiful carrot matchsticks. Am I talking over here or am I talking over here? Awesome. Hi, guys. We make some gorgeous carrot matchsticks on our own. We let women make our carrot matchsticks today. Maybe you've seen them. They come in a bag. That's what we've got here. I've got some sugar, granulated white sugar. I've got some sesame oil right here. And I've got some rice wine vinegar that I had measured out, but who knows what happens with things. And we're going to take that, it's a mystery. And we're going to take that, and we're going to take a little bit of warm water, and we're going to make some pickled carrots. So I need one of my little cups here. Let's see if we can get some more cups over here. Here we go. And we're going to measure out about 1/4 of a cup of rice wine vinegar. This is like an 8-ounce cup. So 1/4 of a cup, about 1/4 way of that. Now we're going to put sugar in. This is 2 tablespoons of sugar, I believe. We're going to go for our warm water. So if you'll excuse me for 1 minute, I believe Sue has promised me that this is water. If it's not, I mean, you know, she's been wonderful up until now. It is. So that warm water in here, and this is like a little 2-ounce cup. So we're looking for a tablespoon of warm water. So we're going to just put a little bit in there. And then we're gonna stir. We haven't added our sesame oil yet, but what we're really looking to do is to dissolve the sugar as completely as you can. And between the acid, the vinegar, there's a little bit of warmth from that very, very warm water, not tepid, but warm. We're going to end up with what we're looking for. Question.
Marie would like to know
How much sugar? On this guy here, I put 2 tablespoons of sugar. You could definitely substitute with a sugar substitute. If you wanted to use honey, if you wanted to use Truvia, if you wanted to use Splenda. We're not a big sugar household. So this is the first time I've used actual sugar in a while. But you do need that sweetness. So I'm just gonna take a little taste of my finger, and that tastes nice and bright and acidic to me and sweet. And I'm gonna pour that over my carrot. Now it doesn't seem like that's a lot, and I do have extra carrot here than normal, or than for the actual recipe. But we're gonna kind of stir that around a little bit just to let some of that pickling liquid just kind of get into the carrot. And then we're gonna add the sesame, and the sesame is gonna give it this toasty, heady, delicious Asian flavor as well. Another question.
Can you give us a reminder real quick how much carrots?
So this container right here is a 2-cup container. I would start with maybe a cup. So I would fill this halfway with carrot. And then we've got a 1/4 cup of the rice wine vinegar. We've got 2 tablespoons of the sugar. And we've got just 1 tablespoon of the warm or hot water to help dissolve that. So I'm getting some nice pickly like sweetness from this already. So I'm gonna throw in a little bit of the sesame. And this is what turns it from like kind of a pickle to a condiment, which hopefully will be very delicious. I'm also gonna throw in, I don't know if you guys realized, these are sesame seeds that I was using before. I see you. These are sesame seeds. These are black sesame seeds, which is kind of a little dramatic. It's kind of fun. People are like, ooh, black sesame. You're like, yeah, black sesame. Why not? Same flavor, but I'm going to add a little bit of that to my carrot just to make it a really yummy looking condiment. Not just looking, but tasting. Question.
I'd just like to confirm one more time that meatballs are supposed to be cooked at 350 in the convection oven.
350 convection, 375 for a regular oven. And we can take a little look-see at those. Sue, can you take a little check on the meatballs and see how those are going? And I'm just kind of moving these carrots around just so that, you know what, if you have a top, if you're using a container with a top, you can put the top on, you can like shake it. But these do kind of just sit just for a little time just to kind of soak up all the flavorific deliciousness that's happening in here. I'm gonna take a little taste here to see if we are on point, and you can always adjust. Oh, I want it a little spicy. Oh, I want it a little more dairy. Oh, I like it if it's sweeter. Adjust. I like mine just like that. I'm a meatballs are still going, and that's fine. We can talk about lettuce. So we didn't really make it like specific as far as what kind of lettuce you needed to use. It's totally up to you. You can make a lettuce wrap with romaine. You can make a lettuce wrap with Boston lettuce. You can make a lettuce wrap with like we're using iceberg. There's so many different lettuces. Just kind of have fun with it. If there's one you like particularly, use that one. So I've got a head of iceberg right here. It's got the bottom right here. Easy way to get rid of that. Bang. Once you slam it on your cutting board, get a little aggression out. Very easy to pull this out. Once you do that, I like to remove probably 1 or 2 layers of the outer lettuce. Thank you, Sue. And then you decide, do you want lettuce wraps? Do you want smaller lettuce wraps? With our meatballs, the way they are, and also with it, it's hard to tear. It's kind of like a cabbage. It's hard to tear. What I'm going to do, honestly, is I'm going to slice this off so that it's easier to peel these pieces off like this. And that way you can get, a nice lettuce wrap if you want to take it down a little bit more, because it's either going to be too large for you, or you want something smaller, you want an appetizer, you want whatever you want. You can definitely do that. We usually cut out the center, and that becomes a wedge or something like that. But you can pull, usually going around the lettuce, you can get some nice pieces. And if they're falling apart a little, it's okay, because this is your lettuce wrap. Your meatballs will go right there, or your meatballs will go right there. Your garnishes will go like there. You'll wrap it up. It's a happy time. Can't go wrong. If you decide you want something smaller, slice right down the middle. And then you can peel pieces like this. No, I wouldn't suggest using this one for a lettuce. But you can, as you get into the lettuce more, you can keep more than one layer. Like that's a beautiful lettuce wrap right there. That's our shot for the front page. Okay, so we've done that. Question.
So just have some people in the chat who are wondering if we some of the ingredients for them for the carrot salad.
Certainly. For these carrots, we're looking at about a cup of matchstick carrots, a quarter cup of unseasoned rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sugar or sugar substitute. Too fast for you, Eric?
Just the last one.
2 tablespoons of sugar or sugar substitute. And if it's a substitute, you want to go a little less and then come up more. And then we got about 1 tablespoon of warm water that's going to pull it all together. And here's my garbage bin, but that's not garbage. That's really good lettuce. And then once you whisk all of those ingredients together, you get them on top of your carrots, and that will start the pickling process. You want to make sure that your sugar is fully dissolved. That'll start the pickling process. And then we do the drizzle of a little bit of sesame oil, toasted sesame oil. And that gives it like a whole nother level of flavor. Another question?
Yeah, so right now we have catering, right? Can you prepare the dumplings, leave in the fridge? Untouched, and then fry them tomorrow.
Definitely. You can also freeze them. Have a dumpling party. Have your family put together, double, triple the recipe. Have your family put together a bunch of them. Put them on a single baking sheet with parchment, hopefully, if you have it, or foil, something like that, so they won't stick to the sheet. You can freeze them that way, as long like you would freeze berries almost. So if the height of summer, I love to take like blueberries or cut up strawberries and spread them on a baking sheet, freeze them, then I can throw them in a Ziploc. Same thing with dumplings. As long as they're frozen separately or refrigerated separately, once they're frozen, you can throw them all into a Ziploc bag, and they'll keep for up to 6 months in the freezer. In the refrigerator, you don't have as much time. In the refrigerator, I'd say maybe a good day or 2, but they will get soggier as they sit. So if you want them for future, I recommend freezing. Yes.
Could you just remind us all one more time how long
We were going for about 15 minutes. So we're good. I'm going to take a little look. If you have a thermometer, you want it to hit 165 when you poke the center. 165 will have them cooked fully. Or if you're like me, you just play with your fingers And I think those are about there. Yeah. I think we need maybe another 3 to 5 minutes on those meatballs and they will be set. So what we can do is we can either field some more questions about the lettuce wraps, or we can start playing with some smashed cucumber salad, actually, which is really kind of fun. Yes. Another question? Okay, awesome. So why don't we start with the smashed cucumber salad? So we're gonna put our lettuce wrap stuff over here. We've got our lettuce. We've got some of our dumpling sauce left over. We've got our pickled carrots. We've got, I mean, you can, if you have leftover scallions, we always have scallions in our kitchen. You can put scallions on top. It's kind of like choose your own adventure. If you like spicy, I mean, jalapenos, hot sauce, all that stuff, lettuce wraps, it's like a taco. And there's no such thing as the wrong amount of toppings for a taco, if I may. So the last thing that we were talking about making today is smashed cucumber salad. And this is where we get just a little bit of our aggravation out, if anyone happens to have any at all. I'm gonna set this knife out and steal this. So for the smashed cucumber salad with hot vinegar, we've got some mini seedless cucumbers that we're using. We've got some Thai chilies. The Thai chilies are not something to be with. These can be very spicy. So remember that based on how much you want to add to your dish. If you don't want to add the chilies, you're not going to add to anybody. We've got the cucumbers right here, these babies. We've got some garlic cloves that we've minced up already. We've got some sugar. We've got some fish sauce. And we've got some rice wine vinegar again. I'm gonna ask you for a bowl, Susie Q. Please. And then our topping, which is gonna be some peanuts. And if you don't like peanuts, you could use almonds, use hazelnuts, you can play around. It's just lovely to have the crunch. I actually want a bigger one, like maybe like one of, like the one sitting right next to me.
That's okay.
I mean, it's okay. It's nice of her that she doesn't remind me that I'm being a moron. She lets me figure it out on my own. And that's a friend. So the fun part, I'm putting all these back over here because I'm about to smash things. So you get these delicious Persian cucumbers at Wegmans or at Trader Joe's or Price Rate, wherever you want to go. And they're so yummy and they're not as seedy and they're really good. Question?
David likes to know if there's a vegetarian option for
Replacing
replacing fish sauce.
the fish sauce. Yes, there is. I would go with a little bit of a soy or a tamari, because that will give you that saltiness and a little bit of that unctuousness. But it's not going to kind of be the exact same as the fish, but it will give you a little bit more of that salty sweet. So this literally is a smashed cucumber salad because what we're going to do is we're going to smash them. And I could
Hi, everyone. I think we might be having a little technical glitch and are frozen.
we're
So
trying to break them up a little.
Oh, here we are.
And then we're trying to kind of make it into pieces that will soak up the vinaigrette. We're going to do. Question.
Marie says she used coconut aminos.
Yeah, coconut aminos are fantastic. Coconut aminos are another replacement like tamari for soy sauce. And I think that's a great recommendation, Marie. So thank you very much. So I'm going to take, and I'm not going to play it lightly. I'm smashing these guys. See? So we smash that and we break it up and we put it into the bowl. You want to get some aggression out? See, so smash, smash, smash. All that time I spent learning how to, the knife skills and all that. So much for that. I just mashed a lot of cucumbers, but see how it breaks them open and you get all of these juicy, wonderful pieces that are going to take on the flavor of the vinaigrette that we're going to put together. So we smash these, and now is when you decide how spicy you like it. We can go with one, and if you do have an aversion to cheese or anything like that, I definitely suggest starting lower. You can remove the pith, which is inside, that we'll show you right here. You can remove the white, you can remove the seeds, and that will give you a less spicy alternative. So I'm not really a wimp, but I am not ready to blow myself away today. So I'm going to remove a little of that. And I'm just going to do a simple thin slice of chili. And that's one Thai bird chili. These are spicy. So I'm going to take maybe that much and put it for my 5 cucumbers. Okay. Ooh, I can smell it. Like maybe I'll add a little bit more. Here you guys. All right. So yes, another question.
A couple people wondering what is good to smash it.
Well, I just used a bottle of rice wine vinegar. You can use a bottle of wine. You can use a, I mean, don't smash it too hard if you want to drink it. You can use a rolling pin. You're not like whacking at it. You know, we're not trying to thoroughly injure the cucumber. We're just trying to open it up and get the seeds moving. So you'll get the right feel. But you can use any sort of bottle like that. You can also take your knife and just press down on it and kind of give it a good like whack like that. Just whatever will open up those cucumbers, get them to the point, you know, where they can really absorb the flavor of the vinaigrette. And that's what we're making next. We've got our rice wine vinegar, we've got our sugar, we've got our fish sauce, or as we've talked about, coconut aminos, tamari, soy, any of those things that might work. And we've got our garlic. And check those meatballs. Oh, I think our meatballs are done. Everybody check your meatballs because they might be in good shape. And how do they taste? They do. So when I am making this vinaigrette for the smashed cucumber, I'm just trying to combine everything together. You use a whisk, use a fork. I'm using a plastic spoon because I like challenges. I'm just taking a little taste of that. And that's good. So we've got the tangy, we've got the sweet, we've got the salty fishiness of the fish sauce. And we're just going to go ahead and pour it over our cucumbers and let them kind of marinate and pick up all that flavor. I'm going to put a glove on. I'm going to do a little tossy toss of that. And we can put it on a plate and make it look nice and pretty. Why don't you make us a lettuce wrap? Question.
So are we supposed to use rice vinegar or wait?
Either or. I like rice vinegar. I like white vinegar. But for this application, I do like rice wine vinegar. If you an unseasoned one, if you have white vinegar, go ahead and use it. It'll work. All right. So, and I'm not sure if the camera's up above or in front of me right now. Up above. Okay. So you can see how I'm kind of like I'm kind of mushing these guys together. And that's combining the pepper, that's combining the cucumber, that's combining all those flavors together. So that when you taste one, yeah, you're really happy. And it's really great. And then what we would do with this is I'm just gonna have a plate over, not that plate. Oh, I have some under here. Actually, if you give me a moment here. And what we can do is we can plate this up on that plate. And you see those little Thai-bird pieces of chili in there and the garlic and all that. And give it a little sauce. And then this is where your yummy peanuts can come in, or some nuts, something like that. And throw those on top. And it's a really great side dish. The cucumber, you know, you need that fresh, crunchy flavor. Peanuts bring a little bit of, you know, fattiness and unctuousness to it. You get the all the flavors that Asian hit. The sweet, the salty, a little bit of spice, a little bit of fresh. It's kind of like, it's a winner all the time. At least in our house, if you have some extra sesame seeds, you can do a little sesame on that. And then, you know what? You eat it. And it's just. So that's our cucumber salad, our smashed cucumber salad. And we've done our dumplings a couple different ways. And we've got our little beautiful meatballs that came out and a lettuce wrap that was put together quite attractively by Susan, with the meatball in there and your pickles and maybe a little scallion, a little sesame ponzu sauce. Like I said, tacos, like just get creative. And I don't even think there's any dumplings after I would show those off. But that's what we plan to make, and that's what we made. I think quite successfully. Yes.
Thank you so much. This is actually, it's been wonderful.
Awesome.
Really excited and so happy that you were able to join us tonight. And your assistants are amazing.
The assistants are amazing.
Love it. Love the plating.
Great.
Wanted you to just, I know you didn't do this, but I really wanted you to just like take 1 minute and do like your elevator pitch. I want you to tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing, because I know you're going to be offering classes when you open.
Yes, we have grown from offsite catering to now having a really wonderful space where you can come to us, and not only can we come to your house, but you can come to our house. It's almost ready to be shown. We're on Culver Road, right between University and Atlantic. We've got a great space that we've split half into an offsite commercial kitchen that we can use for both our events here and for doing events, you know, on the go at your place or weddings or what have you. But we've also built a beautiful island where we hope we can do some really fun cooking classes. Different subjects that you'll be able to find, or give us a call if you have an idea. We're taking private classes now, private events now. But we'll be able to do cooking classes. We're going to be doing some pop-up dinners here, multi-course, different ethnicities, different ideas. We're just trying to kind of do some really, really fun stuff here. And then also in addition, we'll be able to house probably about 30 to 40 people seated for seated dinners and catered events, and about up to 75 for cocktail events. So that's at greenzebracatering.com. Definitely give us your mailing list information, give us your emails so that we can send you, not constantly, I promise, but information about new things that we're doing. and pop on by and visit us at 609 Culver Road. And we're more than happy to show you our space and ways that we can have fun playing with food.
Thank you so much. Teresa and I got a little sneak peek of you walked us through a little bit with your camera, so we're really excited. And I don't know if Keith or Renee or anybody, Jamie would like to say something, but after this, we're gonna let you go because I'm sure you have a lot to do, but you can stay on for a couple of minutes.
Clean up.
Then we're gonna do a little schmoozing, but I think Keith and Renee want to just say hi, and Jamie.
I would love it. Wonderful. I'll be on for a few minutes while we just clean up, but it's just so wonderful. I hope everyone enjoyed. We certainly had a lot of fun. This is like our first foray into this kind of thing, and we love feedback. So that is welcome at any time. At Green Zebra Catering, you can email us, or you can email us at hello@greenzebratcatering.com and let us know, any additional questions, comments, anything. We're open to all of it. We're just really glad that we were asked to do this, and we can have so much fun with you guys tonight.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. You guys are wonderful. And it's just a pleasure to be able to do this with the congregation. We can't all be together right now, but it's another way that we can kind of feel like we're together. So it's really nice. So happy eating, everyone.
This is Keith. Just wanted to thank you very much. All the best.
Oh, thank you, Keith.
All the best with the new business. We will be by to say hello and see what's going on there.
Wonderful. Sounds great.
To Doris for all they put this together.
Yes, they did a wonderful job.
Yes, we ate all the dessert, Iris and Doris. It was really good.
Glad you liked it.
Good. I'm gonna eat a dumpling. Am I still on? Chefs do eat their own food. Perfect. Did you guys want to try anything?
Thanks, Lindsay and crew. Everything looks great. Looks great.
Oh,
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the weekend.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Everybody wants to unmute now. It's kind of awkward talking, but like if people want to unmute and just chat amongst themselves, that would be great. But thank you all for coming tonight. It was really fun doing this. Lindsay and crew, you guys did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. We're gonna pass out so we can clean up, but we look forward to hearing from people online. Please stop by as I said, and just keep cooking and enjoying each other's company.
Thank you.